Hi everybody and welcome to today's video. This is going to be a start of a series on what do you do if you have too many eggs. I hope you stay tuned. I have so many eggs. I have 5 dozen in the refrigerator. And today is recipe number 1. We are going to make an egg bread. So I'm going to make a yeast bread. With that we can make rolls. With that we can make all kinds of things. So this is going to be recipe number 1, and we're going to go in the kitchen and we're going to whip up a lot of different kinds of bread and bread dough using some eggs. But keep watching because we have a lot of recipes coming your way of making eggs all kinds of different ways. So let's get in the kitchen and let's get mixing up some bread. This is going to be egg bread. All right. Welcome into my kitchen. Today I'm going to be making some rolls. I'm going to be making some egg bread. I'm going to be making a braided bread. I am going to quadruple this recipe. If you're interested in the recipe that makes 1 loaf of bread, I will share that in the description box below. But I'm going to add ×4. And this is a bread that's made with lots of eggs because we need to use up these eggs. So I don't know how to pronounce it. It's called brooch bread, B-R-I-O-C-H-E. I'm going to be quadrupling it, so you won't want to follow along with me on the recipe unless you're going to be making a big batch like I am. For a 2-pound loaf, it calls for a 1/2 cup of milk plus 1 tablespoon, 2 large eggs and 2 egg yolks, 2 1/4 cups of bread flour, 2 1/2 tablespoons of sugar, 1 tablespoon of gluten, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1 1/4 teaspoons of yeast. And then it calls for a 1/2 cup of unsalted butter. But I'm going to do this ×4. So I'm going to mix everything up in my mixer and then I'll show you what we do next. When you mix things like I do and you mix big amounts, you have to really keep your focus on all of your ingredients. So I'm going to start with what it calls for. I have all of my milk in here. Now it's going to be 8 large eggs. The dough is yellow. That's from all the eggs in it. This is a very rich dough. So this dough would be great with jam and jelly, or you can braid it. You can add it for bread. It's a very good, rich egg bread. And we'll go ahead and we're going to keep mixing this until we have a nice dough. Then we're going to let it rise for about 1.5 hours. All right, so I have my big dish pan. Yes, it is very big, but it gives me plenty of room to work. And here we have all of our dough. So now what I have to do is I have to incorporate a little more flour into it, and I'm going to knead it till it's nice and smooth. Then we gotta let it rise till double. Now it's when it gets a little bit messy because you have to incorporate the flour and you have to knead your dough. I could have kneaded it in the mixer, but the dough was almost too large for it all. This is a sticky dough because we are using so many eggs and we're using so much butter. I did substitute half the butter for the lard. The key is not to use too much flour. I've been making bread now for 33 years. And that's one of the things I'm really getting back into is making bread on a weekly basis. This is a very nice dough to work with. It is a little sticky, but once you incorporate all the flour, it does work quite nice. So this will make 4 loaves of bread, or if you want to add rolls. So it springs right back. All right, so I'm going to go ahead. We're going to put this and cover it. Because it's getting late in the day, I'm going to keep this for tomorrow and put it in the refrigerator. If you don't have time through your day, you can put your dough in your refrigerator to help it rise overnight. And that's what I'm doing, like this. Just to make it a nice, smooth look to it. You don't really have to get fancy if you don't have time. Put a piece of parchment paper on the bottom of your bread pan. That will help you tremendously because it helps get the bread out. And there is one. Now we're going to go ahead and we are going to put, and here is the other one. This one may be just a slight bit bigger. This is comfort food at its finest because it is a very rich bread. All right, it tastes amazing. Very rich dough. You can really taste the eggs. Very good. Once you have this kind of dough, the other bread just seems rather bland. All right, so here is the raisin bread, and I sprinkled some cinnamon sugar on top of it. So it looks really good. It baked very nice, but I am going to wait till it's totally cool because it has the brown sugar in it. I don't want it to get all gummy and gooey. So we'll see what it looks like when we open it up. We'll see what it looks like when we slice it up. Well, there you go, my friends. It baked nice. It baked really, really nice. That's what it looks like. This is the heel of it. So here we go. That is recipe number 2, and using that same bread dough recipe. It smells amazing, and I can't wait to give it a try. Look how fluffy it is.